Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this trendy blouse. If this is what you're interested in, keep watching, like, share and subscribe. So this video is a bit too long. I've decided to share it into two. So this is part one of this video, the drafting part. In our second video, which will be the part two, we're going to do the sewing part. So let's just go straight to the drafting. So to get started, I folded my paper into two. So this draft is actually on fold. I marked my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half inch. I did my shoulder slant 1.5, and then I went ahead to mark out the length of my armhole, which is usually my shoulder divided by 2 as well. So I'm just marking the lines out so that I have a straight line, and then I went ahead to join the line and I squared it up to get the L shape. So I went up on my armhole 3 inches and I came in by ½ inch. I also came in by 1 inch at the L shape mark, and then I connected both lines together with my armhole curve, and then I used the straight part to extend it to the shoulder points. So I went ahead to also mark my neckline 3 by 3, which is a standard neckline for me. That's what I actually use as my standard neckline. So I'll go ahead and square up the lines like this. Just square it up like this, and then I connected my shoulder slants to the neck point. So I will go ahead now and mark out the neckline like this. I went up 1 inch at that L shape mark, the 1 inch, and then I just used my hand to curve it like that. So I went ahead to mark my apex point, my under bust, my half length, and then my waist to hip measurement, which is the full length of my paper. So I'll just mark it out again so that I can have a straight line. My apex, my under bust, and my half length. So I'll go ahead and straighten it out, mark it out like this, and then I'll place my measurements. So my bust is 32 divided by 2, which is 8 inches. My waist is 25 divided by 2, which is 6.5. 26 divided by 2, sorry, which is 6.5, and then I added 1 inch for that. And then my hip is 9 inches, which is 36 divided by 4. Just go ahead and join all the lines together. Note that I used my curvy parts to join the waist to the hip line. So that's it. I'll go ahead and impute my dart. My nipple to nipple is 3.5. So I just mark 3.5 all the way on the apex line, on the under bust, and on the half length, and also on the hip line. So on the half length line, which is my waistline, I took a ½ inch on both sides of the 3.5 I marked initially. So I'll just go ahead and join all the lines I have marked out like this. So this is actually a basic drafts, upper bodice drafts. So I'll go ahead and do my under bust tightening, but before then let me label it first. Under bust, half length, and then my hip line. So I'll go ahead and do my under bust tightening, and for my under bust tightening I'm doing ½ inch on the center front and 1.5 inch on the side front. ½ inch on the center front and 1.5 inch on the side front. So I'll just go ahead and mark it out like this, using my armhole curve. Just watch how I place my armhole curve, and then I'll connect it back to my dart leg all the way down to the hip line, and then I'll go ahead and impute my princess dart measurement. My princess dart, I'll just come down from my shoulder measurement by 3 inches, Then I'll connect with a straight ruler to that point. Then I'll take my armhole dart 1.5 inch and also connect it back to the apex point like this. So I'll extend that last line I marked, extend it out. That 1.5 inch we took there, I'm going to replace it back on that line so that we don't have a shortage of armhole, and then I'll connect it back to my armhole. So with this, I'll not have a shortage on my armhole at all. So I'll go ahead and impute my sewing allowance, and I just added 1.5 inch on every side, 1.5 inch all the way down. I'll go ahead and connect the lines. Connect the lines like this. So this is basically it. I'll go ahead and trace this with my tracing wheel to appear on the other parts of the draft. So I'll come now to do my back upper bodice. So for the back, I go ahead and mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus 1/2 inch. Then I'll go ahead and do my shoulder slant and then impute the length of my armhole. So I'm just marking it out so that I'll have a straight line, and then I'll just mark it out like this. So on the L-shaped part, I'm going to come up by 1 inch. I'll divide my armhole by 2 and come in by 1/2 inch like this, and then I'll join the lines using my armhole curve. Join the points I marked already using my armhole curve. Then I'll use my straight ruler to connect it to the shoulder points. So I'll go ahead and mark my neck measurement. My neck width is 3 and the neck depth is 1 inch for the back. So it's 3 by 1. And I'll go ahead and join my shoulder. Connect the shoulder measurement. So I'll go ahead and put my apex, my half length, and then my waist to my hip measurement. My apex is 9 inches. My half length for the back is 14 inches because I have already reduced it by 1.5 inch for bust that. I hope you get it. So my back half length is 14 inches. My front half length is 15.5. So I just went ahead to mark it out. So this is 14 inches. Then my waist to hip is 9 inches. I'll go ahead and impute my bust measurement on my apex line, 8 inches. On the waistline, I'll put my waist measurement plus 1 inch for that. And then at the center back, I went out by 1/2 inch. I hope you understand. The 1/2 inch on the center back is for zip tightening. So I just did it that way, and then I'm connecting all the lines. And note please that this 1/2 inch I took at the center back here, I added it back at the side just to make sure my zip doesn't bulge. That's why I did this 1/2 inch here. So I'll go ahead and impute my dart. I put my dart on my waistline and connect it all the way like this. If you know how to do a basic upper bodice, this will not be a problem. So just keep watching and you know how to do it. So this is basically it. I'll go ahead and use my tracing wheel to trace this so that it will appear on the other side of my drafts because this paper is on fold. So I'll go ahead and trace it and the front. So this is the front. I have traced the front and I have marked it out. So I'll go ahead and alter this bodice to give us the style line that we need. So I will determine the center of this draft because I drafted on fold. I can actually see that center mark. So from the center mark, I went in by 2 inches, and then from that waistline, I came down by 1.5. I went in center from the center point 2 inches, and then from the waistline 1.5. And I just used my ruler to mark a straight line. From the side, I came down from the waist by 4 inches, I did that on both sides of the draft, 4 inches on both sides. So I'm going to connect these lines together, that 4 inches to the straight line on this side and that 4 inches to the other one. Just watch how I am curving this, how I'm trying to carve out the style line. See, from the 4 inches to this part here, my marker is not showing properly. I don't know, it's like it's almost finished. So just, you see how it is from the 4 inches to that part and from the 4 inches to that one. So I'll go ahead and mark out our style line for the neckline. So for the neckline, I went in by 2 inches from the shoulder point on this part, and then on the other side I came in by 1 inch. So I'm just going to determine how deep I want this, that I want the neckline to be. So I went up by 3 inches from my apex point because I don't want it to be very deep. I don't want it to show my back. I'm wearing it to church, so I just marked at that point. I'm going to connect that 2 inches I marked here to that line. That's my 3 inches line I have there, and connect this line like this as well. Connect this other 1 inch neckline to that part. I hope you can understand. I'll use another marker to mark out this so that we can see it. It should be visible. I'll go and use another marker, please. So I have marked it out and it's visible. See, so this is the down part and this is the neckline. You can see how I have marked it. So I'm just labeling up and down on that shoulder point because I'm going to cut it out separately. So this is basically it. So go ahead to work on the back now. So this is the back. This is my back. I've already traced it out on the other side of the draft. So this is it. I'll go ahead now and mark out my style line for the neckline. So I went in here on the shoulder part by 1 inch and I did 2 inches on the other part, just like we did for the front, so that they can match each other. So I'll determine how deep I want my V at the back to be, and I'll just mark a straight line to that point, and then I'll use my straight ruler to mark to the other point to connect my other neckline to the V part so that we can have that V shape, just like this. So that's the V that we need. I'll go ahead and mark out my princess dart at the back like this and like this. The princess dart was connected to the half of my armhole, just to the half of my armhole. My marker is not working properly. I will need to get in another one. So after marking this thing, I noticed that I didn't want that neckline like that. I had to shape it again. I did a curve, a little bit of curve on these other parts. I don't want it to be just straight, so I did a bit of curve. I want my zip to be at the side. I don't want it to be at the center, so I'm going to move my zip to the side. In order to do that, I'll just extend my dart line to the V point there, just like this. So I'm going to ignore that princess dart on this other side. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to use this center line, just the dart line straight. That's what I'm going to cut out and get to that point. So this is basically it for that neckline. At the side, I came down from my waistline by 4 inches just to match up with the front, and then I'm going to give it this curve at the back. So you can do whatever you want at the back, but this is the style I'm working with. I'll just give it a curve. Sorry, my marker is not working, so let me just change it. Let me use biro to mark out this curve so that we can see it properly. So I have marked it out with my pen. I use my pen to mark it out. So this is the curve I want at the back of the top, the blouse. So this is basically it. We just go ahead and label 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. So I'll just go ahead and cut out, remove all the darts from this draft, take out the darts and cut the neckline. So that's the front and that's the back. So go ahead and cut out now. Just watch how I cut out this draft carefully. So I'm starting with the front, so I'm cutting it out. Just watch the way I cut it. It's super easy. Just follow all the lines that were marked out and cut. For the front, these are all the pieces for the front. I'm just folding my side dart on this other part and then do the same thing, eliminate the sharp points there. So this is basically all for the front. See that small piece? I'm going to tape it down, use my sellotape and tape it down. So this is the front. We'll go ahead and cut the back. So let's cut the back. So this is my back. I'll just, for the back, is just remove all the darts that we have here, separate all the darts from the, that's remove all the darts from these drafts. So go ahead and cut. NEPA decided to show themselves. Sorry, my lights went off. NEPA decided to take their lights. Or live in Nigeria. What is Nigeria without NEPA? So, but this video is just cutting anyway. I'm just cutting out all the dots. I will go ahead and these are all the pieces for the back. So this is basically it for this tutorial. For our next tutorial, we're going to cut all these pieces on fabric and then we'll proceed to sewing. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so that you get a notification when I upload the sewing tutorial. Bye.